France's defense minister and army general delivered statements to the press earlier today on the airstrikes in Syria. This 10-minute portion is courtesy of France 24.
I may state that the mission is a success. The military targets are reached, and the capacity of Syria to design, produce, and store chemical weapons have been greatly diminished. All our missiles reached their target. We can then be proud of the work accomplished. It was a very delicate assignment involving aerial means projected from several bases on the French territory and over a distance of 7,000 kilometers, as well as a naval force, a sea force, deployed in the Mediterranean Sea. This operation combined a double complexity, the one I have just described, the coordination between the arms and the synchronization with our allies. The armies performed with a perfect sense of execution, and I leave General Lecointre say more about that. The targets were picked with lots of attention in close coordination with our allies, so as to minimize the collateral victims while delivering a firm and determined answer to the doings of the Syrian regime. If those operations are a token to our determination, they were also implemented with the constant concern to avoid any kind of escalation. I do consider that there were, during these strikes, no incidents between our forces and the other forces present in the region. From now on, time is for diplomatic action and humanitarian action. I would like to thank our American allies and British allies, noticeably James Mattis and Gavin Williamson, with whom I talked day and night since Sunday. Finally, before leaving the floor to General Lecointre, I wish to pay a special homage to men and women of the French armed forces who prepared and operated this operation with a very important professionalism and a lot of courage. General? Thank you, Madam Minister. I'd like to talk about three main points. One, especially the targets set by the President of the Republic and the way those targets were reached, and the international dimension, which is absolutely essential for this operation, adding to its complexity, and say a few words before opening the Q&A session about the technical aspects of the strike, proving, if need be, the great efficiency of our army and their capacity to master a tremendous amount of tactical and strategic factors. First of all, the operation reached the targets set by the President of the Republic. It was exclusively focused, as Mrs. Minister said, on the chemical weapons of the Syrian regime, and the two sites that were targeted near Homs are storage and assembly of chemical weapons. Those targets were hit without any risk of mistake and without any collateral proving the high quality of the targeting. The strikes were led during the night so as to avoid the presence of civilians nearby, with elements of intelligence enabling to check until the very last moment this lack of possible collateral damage, taking into account the meteorological situation as to avoid any risk for the civilian population that would be nearby. I wish to commend the total integration and the presence of the military attachés of the United States and of the UK is a token for this great integration. As said Mrs. the Cabinet Minister, we shared a lot with General Dunford and with General Votel during the preparation and the operation itself, and with the Air Marshal Stupic to really set the operations for this strike. We have to highlight the extreme complexity of the command, control, and coordination of the actions, proving the capacity of the French army to integrate oneself in a system of command and control, especially is proving by its capacity, the capacity we had during this period, final period of the strike, with the tactical control of all of the situation in the Oriental Mediterranean by the mission commander, the French mission commander, proving the extreme sophistication of our capacity of command. I wish to highlight also the coordination of the actions, enabling that all of the targets be hit from platforms which were very far away one from the other, with a time of travel for the missiles which were very different, that all targets be hit within a dozen of minutes. This capacity to integrate within a coalition has been made possible also by the great rigor of preparation of the Center for Conduct of Operation, and the presence of the foreign liaison officers were totally integrated to our teams. I'd like to insist upon the more technical aspect of this mission, and which is the proof of the very high quality of training of our men and women, and those in the Navy and in the Air Force. First, a strike that led our pilots from France with 5 supply in air, 3 on the way to, 2 on the way back, 10 hours of flight in combat condition, commanding and putting 5 Rafale, 4 Mirage 2005, 2 AWACS, and 6 supply planes, delivering at the end of the target, at the end of the strike, the missiles that hit the targets in due time, 7,000 kilometers away from the French territory. For the Marine, the performance was about a deployment, a rollout of large size, with 3 frigates, multi-mission, 1 anti-submarine frigate and 1 anti-aerian air frigate, in order to be able to protect all our naval means. And finally, to deliver 3 cruise naval missiles who hit the target within the set time. And this is the first time that this kind of missile is being used since its inception by the French Navy. In conclusion, and again, in addition to the homage paid to the French army, I wish to highlight the extreme relevance of the format of army which is ours, the extreme consistency of this army, and the extreme consistency that there is between the condition of its engagement and the very rigorous, demanding conditions of its operational preparation. I think this is the credibility of our weapons, of our army, and the power of our country.